What's up?
Whoa. Hey, we're back.
This is weird only doing it once a week, man.
I know.
I'm like, hey, I miss that guy.
Yeah,
I haven't seen
it'll
him in
be
a
all right.
while.
Well, let's let things chill out and figure some new things out, and
Oh, dude, the way my daughter's
maybe,
being right now,
yeah,
the
maybe
nighttime
in
show's
the
not even a
future,
thing.
in the future, we'll throw out an impromptu nighttime
Yeah, yeah.
get together.
I'm into that. Yeah, my she's 2. She's doing the terrible twos things right now, and sleep is not a thing. So oh well. Last night I was actually thinking that as I'm sitting outside of her door after 9 o'clock at night. I'm going, yeah, if we were supposed to be live today, um, that wasn't a thing that was happening.
Yeah,
So
I
it
I
worked
used
out.
to do I used to do impromptu. It was during COVID when
Hmm.
I was in right after I got out of grad school, and it was like virtual bar. So we just everybody I knew, I just posted it to Facebook. Hey, if you want to come hang out for a bit, we get like 20 people on there. We'd play games, we'd have drinks,
Cool.
we'd do our thing, and it was pretty cool. I'm thinking about doing that for my clients. Just hey, be on the lookout for
Yeah,
this link. We're gonna hop on. We're just gonna hang out for an hour, talk, be together, whatever the case may be. Just hang out.
that's what's up, man. Um, I think that's cool. Really cool. Of course, tell the sober coach about how you had a virtual bar. I
Well,
see
I
how it
mean,
is. I see how it is.
you know, I do have my own life.
No, you're good, dude. I got invited to a like virtual hangout during the pandemic that was
Mhm.
100 shortly after I got sober, and it was just a bunch of people from high school drinking, and I was like, yeah, hey guys,
Yeah,
I'm gonna go.
yeah. And I don't blame you. Like again, that's you have to be self-aware enough in your recovery or your relationship or whatever it is. You have to be self-aware enough to say no to things.
Yeah, well, dude, that's honestly like that's the thing that we'll actually cover today.
Oh,
That's part
nice.
of the topic. Uh, yeah,
Hell yeah.
yeah. You got to make choices in life,
Yeah.
guys. So
There's
yeah,
always a choice to be made.
who the hell are you? I
Who the hell
forgot.
am
It's been
I?
a week. Yeah, it's been a week.
I'm Dr. Ryan. I am a relationship expert and coach. I empower men to transition from these pits of uncertainty they're in, all this self-doubt, to having unshakable confidence and really mastering their relationships. So I take them from kind of zero to hero in a course of a few months. We talk a lot about accountability, a lot about personal development, growth, mindset. Um, there's an awesome group and a network we're building. So that's kind of what I am, what I do, and it's relationship kind of centered, focused because they're reclaiming their relationships in the progress of reclaiming themselves.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm into it. Um, I do something kind of similar, except it's not to do with relationships. Um, I help dads, most specifically dads, get sober so that, they're better dads. They
Yeah,
actually take care of their kids.
I like
Because
it.
I was a drunk dad at one point and it sucked. And fortunately, my kids were really little and I didn't scar them irreparably. But I want to help other dads get out of the same boat that I was in. It was
Yeah,
sinking, by the way. It was a sinking boat, sinking ship. So, yeah, man. So, we're here to talk recovery and relationships and where they intersect.
yeah,
Isn't that true? Isn't that the
that is
case?
100% the case.
Hey, that's awesome. I just figured, it'd been a week since I saw you. I almost forgot who you were. I didn't even know why you were here. So
And
let
I
the whole
just,
audience
I
know.
just pop in and out when I want.
Yeah, he just shows up. I just happen to be here, hanging out, waiting for him, just in case he shows up. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, man. So you want to talk choices a little bit?
Yeah, let's talk choices. I like that one.
I'm into it, man. Um,
We started it off that way.
yeah,
Might as well just keep it going.
keep going with the choices. Um, I think it's important to recognize that we do have choice.
Yeah.
Like my tagline for my program is you're one choice away because you
Hmm.
are one choice away from getting sober
Yeah.
or getting anything, right? Um, at
You're
the end of the day.
honestly one choice away from the life you deserve and want.
Yeah.
It's literally one choice away.
Yeah. Yeah, you make the choice to start making the actions to
Yeah.
get the thing
Yeah.
that you want. You
Yeah.
know, um, one choice that turns into a lot of micro choices after that.
Yes,
But
100%.
you have to make that initial choice. You have to make the decision to like, I care enough about myself to want better for myself
Uh-huh.
and for the people around me, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, man, here's a cool story. So this morning, every morning I post kind of like 5 a.m., 4:30, hey, going to the gym. I'll post in my story. I'll post it on Snapchat. I'll post it on Facebook and Instagram. And people watch it. And then today I had somebody reach out like, "Hey, God, I wish I had the motivation to do what you're doing." I was like, and it goes right with choices. I was like, "You have the choice." Like you made the choice to reach out to me to maybe have an accountability partner, whatever. That's first step.
Yep.
Your next choice is going to be set an alarm and then just open Facebook or Snapchat, check out my story, see that I'm going, use that as motivation for you to get up and get going.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Love that.
Yeah, it's just that like choices can be as simple as reaching out to somebody who has what you want.
Yeah, exactly. I had that happen today. Someone I've never heard from before
Yeah.
reached out, and that was the first thing that I said. It was like, "Hey, I just want to let you know that just reaching out is a big deal. Like,
Yeah.
don't downplay the fact that you actually took the initiative to do something." Because I think about like, and I mean, this doesn't even just apply to my drinking. Like, this applies to like
Mhm.
life. The number
Yeah.
of times I want something different, I see something, I see opportunity, and I don't
Yeah.
do a damn thing about it. I don't reach out to see what's going on or what learn more or anything. I'm just like, oh, that would be cool. Bye.
Yeah.
Continue to live my life the way I live it today. And then curious, like, how come my life still feels the same? Like, because you didn't do anything different,
Yeah, it was because you failed to make well, no, you made a choice to make your life not feel any different
Yeah.
by not
Yeah.
reaching out
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
whatever the case was.
Yeah. This is exactly it. Choices have positive or negative consequences. Every choice has a consequence. Period.
Yeah, yeah,
You know?
it's every choice has a consequence,
Yeah.
yes.
And when you say yes to something, you're saying no to other things and vice
Yeah,
versa. Like,
yeah.
hey, choices. Um,
Weird.
let's talk about the most least complex thing there ever was. But it's important to talk about because there's so many, we get stuck in these ruts,
Mhm.
where we're making choices without even consciously thinking about the choices that we're making. Like, that's what habits about. That's what
Yeah.
addiction's about. That's what all this stuff's about, right?
Yeah,
Um, So it's easy to just keep scrolling on by and not messaging the person that might have the solution to your problem.
yeah,
All the while, recognize you have whatever problem it might be. It doesn't have to be addiction or anything
yeah,
like that. Be
yeah,
like, got a leaky toilet. You see a
yeah,
video of somebody like fixing a toilet. And you're like, well, I'm not going to watch that. And you
yeah.
just made a choice not to do anything about the thing, right?
Yeah. It's
So,
it's the same in relationships, like, you have a choice when something's on your mind to voice that, or you have a choice to stuff it and not voice it and let it then lead to continued conflict,
yeah,
lead to pushing somebody away emotionally. Like, there's so many consequences to not saying what's on your mind in the correct way, as opposed to the one consequence of saying what's on your mind, which is they might get upset, but now we have this basis to talk about things.
yeah,
I've said my piece. I've said it in the correct way, and we're going to move forward from this. I am going to I'm going to build this life with you through communication, or
totally.
I'm going to push you away by not talking to you.
But what if I just want to talk about work instead of the hard stuff?
That's fine because that'll get to the hard stuff,
Totally. I'm
right?
joking. I just think about like, um, that's my go-to. That's my MO. Like if there's something that I need to talk about, I'll always catch myself talking about other stuff. It's
Yeah.
like things. It's like talking to. I mean, I don't talk to my wife about the weather. The closest I get to talking about the weather is like work. So if I'm bringing work up, there's something I need to bring up that I'm
Mhm.
avoiding bringing up.
Yeah, but there's also so there are messages in the small stuff. It's just people aren't asking the right questions. If
Totally.
somebody's bringing up they need to work out more. You should probably ask them about things about themselves. Like, are you not happy with what's going on? Are you feeling depressed? Like, there's so
Yeah.
many things that are happening that one statement tells you that you should ask.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. Read between the lines a
Yeah.
little bit. Like
Yeah.
they're opening the door to the conversation.
100%. Yeah.
They just aren't willing to step all the way across the threshold without you reaching through the doorway and holding their hand, you know, and being
Hmm.
like, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
let's talk about that.
Yeah.
I love that, man. I never thought of it that way, I guess. A different
There's
perspective.
there's so much in, and men fall into this. Oh, my wife's nagging. She's telling me to do this. She's telling you what she needs, but
Yeah.
you have to be perceptive enough to understand what she needs. She's not pissed about the laundry. She's
Yeah.
pissed that you're probably not acknowledging her for doing it. You aren't helping. You aren't putting your clothes in the hamper like you said you were going to. You aren't keeping up your half. She's
Right.
not bitching about the laundry. She's bitching about other things associated with the laundry.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
She's
Yeah.
telling you what she needs.
Yeah. Like some help.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. It could be as simple as help.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not actually mad at you. I just
no.
want you to acknowledge that I worked my butt off to fold all these clothes that aren't mine.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Like a
yeah,
simple, hey, thanks for doing that, babe. Appreciate it.
totally.
I'm
Yeah.
going to go ahead and hang that up and put it up. 2
Yep.
seconds, done.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's something to be said, like duty's duty, and that's great, but it takes you 2 seconds to acknowledge what somebody else did.
Yeah.
You know, I find that, and I actually was speaking with a client about this morning. Like, I don't know why, but most people that I work with, most people I talk, not even just work with, just people that I know in general, maybe it's
Mhm.
I'm in a echo chamber, but we live in this world where most of the communication is about the things we are doing wrong or are not doing. Like,
Yeah.
you don't get nearly as much positive feedback about the things going on. Cause like if you show up and you do a good job, that's just what you're supposed to do. You
Yeah.
know, like
Yeah.
we don't say anything about that. But if you
Mhm.
show up and you half-ass it, like everyone's going to let you know that you dropped the
Yes.
ball, you know? And I
Yeah.
just think it's interesting that communication's gotten to that point. I mean, I say gotten to that point, maybe it's always been that way, but I just find that it's destructive. Like, it makes it to where it plays into the fixed mindset
Yeah.
because we don't want to take risks. We don't want to take chances because that's the only time people talk to us is, oh, you fucked up. Like,
Mhm.
oh, cool, you know?
Yeah.
But all the other times you did great, you don't hear a dang thing, you know?
Mhm.
So I just think that's interesting. Really
And
interesting to think about.
those things go so far, not just for women, but for men, because men, they're attacked on the daily. They're expected to do things on the daily. And
Mhm.
for a woman just to step up and say, hey, I appreciate that. Hey, good job. Hey, thanks for going to work. Like, just a simple thanks. And it kind of all goes back to, like, if you think about it, the first time a man will ever receive flowers is at his funeral.
Bro, that's rude.
It's the truth. It's the truth.
Yeah, I mean, I can think of I think I might have got balloons once,
Okay.
but definitely no flowers. And
See?
you're not wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong, right? Hey, if you're watching, let us know if you're a man and you've gotten flowers before your funeral. If you have gotten flowers after your funeral and you are also watching, let us know what it's like on the other side. Okay.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, but I mean, there's a lot to that, you know.
Like, that one statement says a lot about the positive things that are said to men.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's all about men. There's nowhere for them to go. There's nobody to pat them on the back. There's nobody to do that stuff for them. They just kind of do it. And I think women need to acknowledge that a little bit.
yeah, yeah,
In a sense. But
yeah,
it's also up to the guy to be like, acknowledge her as well.
yeah. How
Like,
about a little reciprocity?
yeah, it goes both ways.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think that's awesome. I think about how, like, um, one time my wife, and this pissed me off so bad. She's like, "I'm not going to coddle you," and I was like, "I didn't ask you to coddle me. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not asking you to coddle me. You know,
Yeah.
like, I went through and I do not resent her for this. I want to make this abundantly clear right now. But I went through my darkest days all by my damn self, right?
Yeah.
Like, if I ever needed coddling, I didn't get it, you know. But I don't mind a cookie or an attaboy here or there, and I don't think that's coddling, like acknowledging work that other people do.
No.
Yeah, I just like, you know, I laid it down. It's like, look, like I'm not asking you to coddle me. I'm just saying, like, fucking validate me every once in a while. Like it's a normal
Yeah.
human need for
Yeah.
validation. Like, look,
Just
like,
just a little bit.
yeah, like it's not like I started an OnlyFans screaming out for help, you know? Like, come on. Like, I just want you to every once in a while be like, thanks for doing the dishes. I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
A simple thanks.
I appreciate that you appreciate me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
Like,
Yes, 100%.
yeah,
But
dude.
it's like those are the small choices in our life that we have to make on a daily basis. Just acknowledging, validating. It is, Jen, about mutual respect, 100%. And I think in today's day and age, we've lost some of that mutual respect.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of become entitled. Like we should have it no matter what.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't. You should have to work for it.
Yeah.
You should still strive to be a better person and work for it. But man, the choice to just say, hey, I appreciate you. Hey, thank you. Hey, I got you. Those things have so much impact on people.
Yeah. Yeah. I try to do that with my kids. Like my son's 7. He understands, you know, these kinds of things. I explain to him, like, you don't owe me anything.
Yeah.
But I don't owe you anything either. Like, I don't have to do anything for you. I choose to, you know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
a reality. I don't owe you shit. You know,
Yeah.
I don't want him to live in this world where he thinks anybody owes him anything. And the same goes like when I ask him for help. If he tells me no, I'm like, all right, cool, dude. Like, fine, don't. Like, I made you be alive. You know,
Yeah.
me and my wife made you be alive. So if you
Uh-huh.
don't want to help with your brother, cool. But then he'll flip it. Like this morning, he changed the diaper. Never done that before. That was cool. Like
Yeah.
for once in my life, I got to see both my wife and I got to watch a diaper get changed, not have to be involved. You know,
Nice.
but it's like it's that cake and eat it too thing.
Yep.
You know, like
Yeah.
if you want things from people, you need to give things to them back and forth, reciprocity, that whole mutual respect. So it's like, you know, he's got to be able to say no sometimes. If I want him to say yes sometimes, give him the freedom to do that. Right?
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, like we didn't breed a slave. Like that's not what we had kids for. He doesn't exist to help with dishes and do laundry and mow the lawn. Like he's a living human being.
Yeah.
It deserves respect and choice. Right? We were talking about choices here. Like just I don't own him.
No.
You know?
But
it's
he has the choice to make the decision is kind of the basis of that.
exactly. That's exactly it, you know. And when he does cool stuff, I let him know. Like, hey, you did cool stuff. I appreciate it. You know, you're a good kid, you know, that kind of thing. And this doesn't apply to just kids.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to point this out, Jen. That's awesome. You and your husband had a great relationship. I'm happy for that. Get out of that fixed mindset of you're going to be single forever. There's nobody who can fill his shoes. 100% there is somebody out there for you. Are they going to be the same man? No, never. And you shouldn't want the same exact man. Let his memory live positive. Look for similar attributes, but don't get in that fixed mindset of there's nobody out there for you, because there is. I don't care what age you are.
Totally. Yeah, 60. My mom is older than that. And I will never tell you how old she is. Women doesn't talk about that. But she has like a boyfriend now. And that's new, novel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're being an ageist of yourself right now.
Yeah.
Jenny, that's the reality. Like,
Yeah.
you're never too old to start again. You're never too young to start. You know, like all those things. Like, let me puke out a whole bunch of platitudes for you, but they exist for a reason. They can be useful. You know,
Go back and start talking to yourself better, because even you saying I'll be single now forever is negative self-talk.
Yeah.
You need to flip that script and talk to yourself more positively. Oh, I'm too old. I'm 60. I'm 60 exclamation point is negative self-talk.
Yeah. And
right. In the way that you're saying it, in the context, like It could be, I'm fucking 60. I got a whole life ahead of me. Let's
Exactly.
get this. There's tons of people out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for real. Also, you have no idea like how much more life you have ahead of you. So
Yeah.
whatever numbers are attached to you right now don't mean much in the whole
No,
context of things,
no,
right?
no, they
Um,
don't. They don't.
No, like that's interesting because like I had this huge limiting belief when I first was getting sober, like before I got sober, actually kept me from crossing the threshold to get sober, was that I had this idea that like I was gonna have to start over, which
Mhm.
like in a lot of ways I did. Like
Yeah, yeah.
don't get me wrong there, but I was like, it's too late in life to start over. Like, might as well just stay the course, man. Just screw it, you know. But the reality is that you're there. I don't know. I mean, in a way, I feel like I didn't start over. I just had never started. You
Yeah.
know, like
Yeah.
so what? Um, I also know people, way younger and way older at way different places in life. Like,
Mhm.
there's this there's a kid. This is like tangentially related, but there's a kid in my neighborhood who has a Lamborghini, like legit owns a
Uh-huh.
Lamborghini. His license plate says internet money. He's like in his 20s. And
Yes.
he owns this car, and then I'm over here like, mid 30s, dude. I drive a Yukon. Like it's a nice car, don't get me wrong. But like I don't have internet money and I'm driving a freaking
Yeah.
Lamborghini in my 20s.
Yeah.
So like, is he more successful? I don't know. How are you going to judge success? Like that's why I don't like having the numbers and these metrics associated to like
No.
our life, because then we become absolutists like
Mhm.
this. Like I'll be single forever. Forever
Mhm.
is a really long time that you can't even quantify. Um,
It's
you
a
don't
hard
know.
thing to wrap your head around, kind of like you in your sobriety. Me, when I broke my back, I had to have 2 spinal fusions, and they're like, "You can never work hard labor again." That's all I knew. I
Mhm.
only knew hard labor, oil rigs, construction, glass installation. And for somebody to say that, it had to be a switch in my head where it's like, "No, I have so much to offer. It's just finding out what I have to offer," which then led me down to becoming a doctor at the age of 39.
Yeah,
Like, those limiting beliefs, if I would have held on to them, I don't know. I could be doing anything right now. I could be collecting disability. I just don't know.
yeah,
But instead, I fixed it. I got to the gym. I hired a trainer, started eating better. I made things happen, and you have to make things happen.
yeah. Yeah, well, nobody else will do it for you.
No,
Like that's like the thing.
dude,
Um,
I love this one. Life starts at 40. Before that is just research.
dude,
Dude, 100%.
I'm there. I'm totally there with you. Like I think about that. Um, like I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I mean, I know what I'm doing, but I don't know what I'm doing. Like in the
Yeah,
grand scheme of things, like
yeah.
we're still, and everybody should have that mindset every day. Like
Mhm.
you should wake up. I have one job that's to master my routine. That's it. And using that routine to become more productive, not
Yeah,
busy,
yeah.
productive. Like that is to me the goal of life. Like that is
Mhm.
you that is when we're happiest. I'm happiest. Research shows flow state, all that stuff is when we're the happiest, is when we are
Yeah.
being truly productive.
Mhm.
Um, if you think you've got it figured out, you are way further away from figuring it out than you've ever been in your life. The
Yeah.
furthest. Like,
That
that
is
is,
the ultimate fixed mindset.
yeah, yeah. I already figured it out. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what did you figure out?
I
Um,
was watching, a podcast last night with Pineda and, uh, Waller,
mhm,
and what he said was, "The scariest thing to me is not having a mountain to climb after I've climbed one."
dude.
Meaning, like, it's just that like, once I get to the top of the mountain, I've succeeded in this. I am now gonna self-sabotage because why? I have it all figured out.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and that's where the self-sabotage comes in, and you can fall back down that mountain just as quick, if not quicker, than you climbed it. So what he's saying is, I wanna continue reaching for more and more goals, for bigger and bigger things, so that I don't self-sabotage.
Totally. I think there's a really delicate balance though, because we can get in this cycle of like ambition, pursuit, success,
Hmm.
dissatisfaction
Yeah.
once we achieve that like success, right?
Yeah.
And then we go back into that same cycle over and over and over.
Hmm.
And in my experience, and I'm not saying that those guys are wrong, like that's their experience. I'm not
Yeah. Yeah.
invalidating.
Yeah.
In my experience, I had to start asking different questions,
Hmm.
pursuing different things.
Yeah.
It was like if I get to the top of that mountain and I have to find another mountain to be satisfied, that mountain I just climbed was the wrong damn mountain. Like that's just it. You know, like I need to have some pursuits in my life where when I get to the top of the mountain, I can just like chill and watch, look around for a while
Yeah.
instead of feeling, because it becomes an addiction itself. I'm the habit guy. You know, it becomes a habit to like constantly pursue the unattainable, right?
Yeah. And what they were saying is more like, dude, I've hit this mountain, like this pinnacle. I have FU money.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah, yeah.
never have to work again if I don't want to. And that's a dangerous place to be,
Oh, dude. Yeah.
right? At 30 something,
Hmm.
that's a really dangerous place to be. Now you need to focus on how can I make other lives better? How
Yeah,
can,
community.
like, asking those questions, what can I now do for other people? What's my next thing?
Totally. Totally. Yeah, I'm
Because
with that.
I've reached the pinnacle of money. I have enough to just retire and be done and never have to worry about money again.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on that. With that additional context, that makes a whole
Mhm.
lot of sense.
Yeah.
Um,
It's more like that. Like once you reach a place where you don't have to do anything. I mean, put that into sobriety context. That would be
bro.
terrifying. Like I've
Well,
reached this level. I don't have to work. I don't have to do anything. I'm left to my own vices. I don't have to
yeah,
strive for better anymore. I can just chill. Dude, you're right back in your active addiction or
that's how you're gonna go
whatever
make bad
instantly.
choices.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. Well, and that, I mean, that was like that contributed to my fall. Was like I was just a full time student. Bills were paid by me being a full time student. I being a full time student was not full time enough for me in
Mhm.
undergrad
Yeah.
to keep me out of trouble, right?
Yeah.
Um, so then it was like really easy. Like I don't know, this is what I do with my time when I'm bored. You
Yeah.
know, like here you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
So I could see that being even more problematic if you had enough money to just go make really, really bad choices.
Mhm.
Um, and get yourself out of trouble when you make really, really bad choices too.
Yeah.
There's that too. But yeah, um, I think that might be kind of a decent segue
Okay.
into
Awesome.
my topic today, if
Let's
you're
hear it.
cool with
What's this
that.
topic you got for us?
So I just wanted to kind of like talk about what makes an alcoholic, because it's an interesting notion, because there's like these colloquialisms about what it is that makes you an alcoholic. There's like some science behind it as well. Um, very contested. I would like to point out the science has never yet been even settled on what the hell being an alcoholic is, which is what
Yeah.
I kind of enjoy
Yeah.
about it in a way. Um, so I just kind of want to like skin that cat a little bit. Like I made a post today, and this is the post itself is not what inspired the topic. The topic inspired the post, but
Okay.
then the post was really full of fuel, because it was like I said that alcoholics are not born; they're made.
Yeah.
And man, that comment section is hot right
Mm.
now, because
Yeah.
there's a group of people that agree. Like, yeah, no, it's decisions that you make, and there's other people like, nah, dude, I disagree. Well, and I mean this as kindly to most of the people that disagree as possible. Like, that's your experience. You are projecting
Mhm.
your experience, even if it's not your own personal experience. It's an observation that you made. You're taking our own experience, projecting it on that thing.
Yeah.
Um, objectively, science, objectively, you are not born an alcoholic. Our
Mhm.
genetics do not predict our decisions.
Yeah.
The environment does, right? And still we have choice, even given the environment. You know, like you have a biological determiner to eat food. Like one of your main driving forces is to eat food. Then you have people that specifically fast because of a cause. they're breaking down everything genetically driving them to make a different choice. So I just,
hmm
and here's my biggest pet peeve about the concept that alcoholism is like a thing you have and you can't do anything about it. It robs you of your power, man.
Yeah.
Like you're like, I'm not gonna like deprive you, dear viewer, listener, that is getting sober of that power to go, I did this. I made these choices. Like if you have admitted you're an alcoholic, then like no, you just are now living a life that allows you to be in remission. Like you didn't do
Yeah.
anything, you know. I don't like that. Um, and I think like we look at there's different tests that you have alcohol use disorder. Science has pretty much thrown the concept of alcoholic and alcoholism out the window. Like
Mm.
you're not if you're going to a therapist or a counselor about your drinking, it's alcohol use disorder. You know,
Oh,
part
yeah.
of it is reclaiming the stereotypes. You know, like that you're not in a
Yeah.
gutter. Like, and that goes back into the what makes an alcoholic. Like, do you have to get a DUI to have a drinking problem? Like, do you have to get divorced? You have to be homeless? Like, where are these lines in the sand? You know, where do we draw them at? You know,
It, to me, it seems like it's a choice, like we talked about.
mhm.
Like to me, that's the determining factor, your ability to consistently make a choice.
Yeah. Well, see, and so that's my whole thing. Like, we are firemen if we fight fires.
Yeah.
You want to be an alcoholic, it's because you drink. Well, so then what is it? What is it that makes up identity? We are what we habitually do, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
But that doesn't make us those things forever. It's not set in stone. Like
Yeah.
if you're not fighting fires, you're not a fireman anymore. Like, you're just
Mhm.
a dude on the
Yeah.
street. Like that's
Yeah.
just the reality, right? So it's important for us to have the power, the autonomy to be able to go, I don't have a chronic condition that's incurable and I need to run from alcohol for the rest of my life, or else I will just, oh, slipsy oopsie doozies. I was
Mhm.
around booze and I started drinking, you know, like I cannot. Sorry if this message doesn't resonate with you. It's maybe not for you then, but I cannot live a life like that. I could not. But if my sobriety was predicated on that, I'd still be drinking today. I promise you. Like,
Oh.
because that's the land of excuses for this guy.
Mhm.
There's a land of I don't have a choice in the matter because both my grandparents were alcoholics. Both of my parents, my biological parents, along the way, have had their issues with a troubled relationship with alcohol. I got all the excuses in the world, man. Like,
Yeah.
well, it's just what we do. We're reeds, you know. But that wasn't my experience. It's not my experience. Still not my experience, right?
No.
I've gotten deep into the genetic debate previously.
Mhm.
I don't care which study you look at. Every single one of them points to the main determiner being environment, even in study of twins, for
Yeah.
the record, you know, identical twins, as close to the same person as you're going to get on planet Earth. It was the environment they were raised up in. So, I apologize to those of you that I've just stripped your excuse from, but I'm sorry, not sorry about doing that because it's a favor at the end of the day.
Yeah.
know?
The less excuses you have, the better off you are to make the right decision, the
The
right
right
choice.
choice. There you go. And I mean, and that's honestly, yeah. And it also gives you the power back to make the choice.
Mhm.
I think that's like so understated. And that to me is the most interesting portion of the science. So you start digging into remissions, okay, a remission from alcohol as if it is incurable. People spontaneously get sober, like, and
Mhm.
it's not just from alcohol, right? And I'm not diminishing chemical physical dependency. That's a thing, a real
Yeah.
phenomena when it comes to benzos and alcohol specifically can be lethal in certain situations, right? I'm not downplaying that, but I think it's important to understand that we had people come back from the Vietnam War addicted to heroin who just stopped. they have done studies for decades on these people since then. These people continue to just stay stopped. They're still sober even after being addicted to heroin while they're over in Vietnam. So that's interesting. Alcohol is the same way. People will just stop. They just quit one day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, some of those people were alcoholics before they just quit. You know, they just had a moment of clarity, started making a different choice, changed their life a bit. Other thing is, habits are determined by our environment. Like that's a huge thing when it comes to habits. Is what cues exist to start the behavior.
Yeah.
Someone moves, they can become spontaneously
Mm-hmm.
sober. Like, well, completely new environment, completely different choices to make. Do not continue to make the same choice they were making previously.
Dude, my stepdad was one of them. He did it twice. Drinking. I don't know what like the final straw was, but like he drank a ton of wild turkey.
Yuck.
He drank a ton of it. And one day something happened. He was like, I'm done. He threw it out, never touched it again. Smoking. The guy lived until he was 94, 95. And he started smoking, he said, at 6 years old. And at, I want to say like 85, he's like, I'm done. And these were the Camel Studs, the filterless cigarettes that he smoked. And at 85, he's like, I'm over it. Dude, tossed them, nothing. There was nothing there.
That's crazy.
It was just a choice. Like he made that choice every single day. Was it easy? I guarantee that was not easy, but he's one of those very masculine men. He's not going to let you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think that's another thing that's important to understand too, is like, it's not easy.
No,
I'm not saying that any of this is easy.
No.
Don't take
No.
when I say it's a choice, I'm not saying like that's just a choice. Like I'm not saying that flippantly. Okay.
No.
Like I recognize from my experience, it might be the most difficult choice you ever make. Like
Yeah.
it might even though and I'm not putting this into your stepdad's experience.
Mm-mm.
I'm saying there are many people, and the reason I'm couching this
Yeah.
is so that I don't want anyone to think I'm projecting this on his.
Oh,
But
that's
for
fine.
many people, what looks like, oh, I just quit today, can be, I've been trying to quit for years and I didn't talk to anybody about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's interesting because that means that there might have been 500, 600, 700 attempts to make this choice
Mhm.
and failing to do so. I mean, when in my drinking, there are at least, I can think when I started working at this new job is when I started to drink more at night because I got off work. I was making more money. It was financially easier for me to be able to pick up a 6-pack and some whiskey on the way home. Like it wasn't a big deal.
Mhm.
I also, I don't know, the job made it to where I was capable of having a hangover every day. It wasn't really a big deal. So I started doing that. And then one day I didn't want to do that anymore, but I kept doing that. It's like I would every day. I'm like, okay, I don't want to do that today. And then
Yeah.
find myself making that choice. But I want to make that abundantly clear. I found myself making that choice. Like I didn't just arrive at home and all of a sudden I had booze. Like I consciously was making the decisions along the way. Like that's a reality, is that there was eventually what the academic side of everything calls ego fatigue. Ego fatigue
Yes.
it was experienced. That means a loss of willpower eventually, because we only can make so many decisions in a day, period. And that's like, people are like, Dylan, how do you do the things you do? Habit, man. Like it becomes easier and easier to get up early the more times you get up early. It becomes easier and easier to go to the gym the more times you go to the gym. It's easier for me to floss my teeth every day, brush my teeth every day, do all these things, because in time, we don't have to spend as much energy to make the decision because it's like a habit, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we're still involved. I mean, I don't blindly, like, even though I brush my teeth at pretty much the same time every single day in the same way every day,
Yeah.
I don't just all of a sudden go, oh, I already brushed my teeth. Like I'm consciously aware, right? So
Uh-huh.
the reason I make that is you cannot tell me that you accidentally relapsed and started drinking if I cannot accidentally brush my teeth without being aware that I
Yeah.
brushed my teeth. Like, that's just not a thing, right?
Yeah.
You didn't accidentally go to work, you didn't accidentally drive there, you didn't accidentally eat dinner, make dinner, or do any of the activities that you were consciously observing and aware of throughout
Yeah.
the day. You know,
Yeah.
like
You
you
didn't
can't,
accidentally cheat on your husband or wife.
yeah, you can't pick a bad habit and say that it happens unconsciously and then not do the same for the good habits. Because
Yeah.
in your brain, the way that this is wired, this is why I'm bringing all this stuff into what makes an alcoholic. It's the exact same.
Yeah.
So if you're a musician, your brain will rewire itself to be really good at playing guitar because you did it a whole lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
My brain rewired itself to be damn good at drinking because I did it a whole lot of times. Can be the same way about being a doctor, same way about race car driver, whatever the hell it is. You do things enough times, you become what you do repeatedly.
Yeah.
It's not that complicated, right? The complex part is this mystification BS that's going on about how, well, it's a disease, it's genetic, it's this, it's that, and all these things that remove the reality of the situation from the situation.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that's different between being really good at playing guitar by spending 1,000 hours and being really good at drinking alcohol by spending thousands of hours is that you can become physically, chemically dependent to alcohol. But once you're through that, a week, go see a doctor in a week, you're good, man. That excuse is gone again.
Yeah.
It's just, there was a huge battle, and I'm not going to get into it today, between the medical community as to whether it was a disease or not. And essentially the medical community won not in favor of the patient, but in favor of those treating the patient. Because now that it's a disease, I can come up with medicines, I can come up with treatment plans, I can come up with all these things, and I can create a whole entire industry to fix these people forever.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No.
And it's not a conspiracy, it's just business, guys. Like,
Yeah.
it's just the reality. Like, no, they had more money to promote their campaign, they won. But there are tons of therapists and counselors and practitioners, addictionologists, all these that are coming out and saying, hey, it's not a disease. It's not just some crazy guy on the internet. Okay. Like, you want, hit me up in the DMs. I'll give you a list of literature, but people fall asleep when I start to just share literature because it turns into a snooze fest, and I'm not trying to make a snooze fest here today.
Yeah.
So
literature is boring.
it's important. It's the foundation of everything I'm talking about. But if I were to just cite you things from the literature, yes, you would be more bored than you may even be right now. So there you go.
I like it. That brought it full
it.
circle to choices.
Dude, well, I mean, you can't talk it.
Yeah, every choice builds on itself.
Yeah.
Right? The choice not to have that drink gives you the choice to spend more time with your family.
Yep.
Gives you more time to get a side hustle. Gives you more time to work on your self-talk.
Yep.
Like, it is that choice.
100%.
It's how you approach it and how you view it and how you tell yourself that choice is going to affect you.
Yeah. Like, me getting sober is a big deal. Don't get me wrong. Like, but that's just the external thing that everybody sees.
Mm-hmm.
That's nothing. That is like, guys, if you're thinking about getting sober because of that, that is a drop in the bucket compared to the true transformation that you will experience internally that no one can see.
Yeah.
Like, we were talking about ego fatigue. When you spend your whole day thinking about how you're going to get it, how you're going to do it, and then how you're going to like cover it up and all that stuff, that doesn't leave much mental capacity for like cool shit.
Yeah.
You know, you get
Yeah.
sober. There's this whole other side of life that you get to now experience because you're not preoccupied with bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, pardon my French, right? Because it's utter tripe, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, like, you guys don't see the better choices that I'm making in my head because you cannot see them. It's internal. Like,
Yeah.
you don't see how much easier it becomes for me to make the right choice compared to in the past because I'm not fighting myself over some other decision that I'm obsessing about, right?
Hmm.
You don't see that I become a better husband or a better father because those are all things that happen behind the scenes. And all
Yeah.
that people see is he's sober now. That's awesome. I'm like, dude, that's nothing compared to all the stuff you don't know about, you know?
Uh-huh.
Because that's it, man. Um,
Yeah. Nobody sees the struggles. They just see the results.
yeah,
Good or bad.
totally.
I want to make that clear. They see the results, good or bad.
Totally. I want to do this real quick. Boom. Jenny, that's what's up.
Congrats.
Yeah, big time. And it truly, it does get easier if you'll let it. Like if
Yeah.
you'll let it, if you'll get out of the mindset of constantly thinking about drinking and constantly thinking about bad choices and constantly thinking about what life was like, and you allow yourself to transform and become the person that you were supposed to be, it's not, it's a walk in the park. Truly.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
not easy at first. You get the reps in, and lifting the weight is almost mindless. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think about booze, guys, except when I'm doing shows like this. Like, except when I'm at work, I don't think about alcohol. Like, it's not a thing.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah, so we're full circle choices. What are your thoughts, man?
Man, I've enjoyed the choices thing just because so many people make very minute poor choices throughout the day that lead to them having to make bigger choices that they can't make.
Yeah.
They're not, in my line of work, they're not opening up to their partner. They make the choice to stuff things.
Mm-hmm.
They're choosing not to talk. They're choosing not to communicate. They're choosing not to commit. But it all, like, commitment's huge, but it all breaks down to that one choice not to talk about what's on my mind. Like,
Yeah.
that's the one thing. If you would have just said what's on your mind, things probably wouldn't have gotten so bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for some reason, as guys, we're afraid to do it, or we think there's going to be some poor repercussion. Women too, they do the same thing. They
Yeah.
talk around the idea. There's going to be something poor is going to happen. The relationship, there's going to be an argument. So what? Let the argument happen. If you don't know how to have an argument, get a hold of somebody and learn how to have an argument.
Boom.
Because arguments aren't bad inherently. It's how you handle them that's bad.
Yeah. The outcome, you
Yeah.
know, or lack of outcome.
Yeah.
From
Yeah.
Like that argue when you get to the point where well, first of all, you should never argue for the sake of argument. Like, I'm just,
No.
you're being a contrarian asshole. Stop that. But like even if you're right, it doesn't matter.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like if you cannot have a heated discussion, an argument, whatever you want to call it, if you can't have that with people, just stay home.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
That's just kind of it. Like my wife and I, madly in love with each other, still argue from time to time. This is
Yeah.
gonna happen. Like,
Yeah.
we are two different people
Mhm.
raising four different people with, although we have shared goals, we still have individual goals,
Yeah.
and you're trying to figure out how to navigate making all that stuff work together
Yeah.
in harmony. There are moments where the planets do not align. In fact,
Yeah.
they run into each other, and there's conversations that we have that are not the most fun.
I
But we have
think you hit on something really important there. You kind of flew by it, which was the "I'm right" argument.
Yeah.
It should never be "I'm right, you're wrong." It should
Mhm.
be, how can we come to a solution that we both agree upon?
Dude, finding the third way.
Yeah.
Every
What
time.
is the solution? What is the compromise? There's always a solution, always a compromise.
Mhm.
Neither one of you is right. The two of you together are correct.
Yeah, totally. Like, there's not a way. There's your
Yeah.
way,
Yeah.
not the way,
Yeah.
your way. You know, someone comes in and does it a little bit differently doesn't mean they did it wrong. It means that they
No.
did it differently. Even
No.
if it takes a little bit more time, by the way, time is illusion. They didn't do it wrong. They didn't do it wrong.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's just, it's not a thing.
Oops.
Yeah. Like, what's good for you isn't good for everyone. Like, that's
Yeah.
just That's it. And when we say that we're right, we're trying to have a lens of objectivity through subjective eyeballs. Like, dude, that's not a thing.
No,
It's like just
no.
nope.
What's your stance on it? Here's my stance. Where's the middle ground, and how are
Yeah.
we attacking the problem instead of attacking each other?
Boom. Yeah, love it. Love it. Yeah, I mean and that's exactly it. Like, by the way, on the road to getting to that thing that Ryan just talked about, it might be a little heated. It
Yeah.
might be a little uncomfortable. Like, there might be tears shed. Please God, don't intentionally make your partner cry. But
No.
like, these things happen.
Mhm.
That's life, man. Like,
Yeah.
it's a blood sport, but try not to shed blood. Like,
Boom, 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 boom.
best movie ever. No, I just think like I love that because it really is about the small choices,
Mhm.
like this is a small choice. If you know that on your way home from work you buy booze at this liquor store, then take a different route. If you know that if you take a different route because you tried that you go to this other liquor store, then take a different route. If you've run out of routes, leave your wallet at home.
Yeah.
If you have the thing on your phone where you got Apple Pay or whatever, then leave your phone at home. Like, you can make small choices
Mhm.
to get to the solution to the problem when you quit giving yourself damn excuses
Yeah.
to make the wrong choice. Because
Yeah.
that's exactly, oh, well, I drove past the liquor store. I didn't drive past the liquor store because I took a different route, but I bumped into this other liquor store. I guess I got to stop. Like, do you?
No.
No. And I love how you're talking about how they build up on each other, because it's like we will try to make all the choices.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the best husband, the best father, the best this, the best that, all of these best things at the same time. And then as soon as one card falls, throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm going to start drinking again. Yes, I'm going to yell at my wife tonight. Yes, this, guess that, because I did
Yep.
one thing wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah.
A little bit at a time,
100%. 100%.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you have daily non-negotiables in your program. I know I have non-negotiables in my program, but that doesn't mean that if one day you miss one of your non-negotiables, you skip all the other ones.
No.
Like,
No. No.
not how it works.
No.
Like, no. The idea is once you learn to master the day, all those things are incorporated every day.
Yes.
But I don't expect you to do that on day one. I want you to. I want you to.
Yeah. Yeah.
You might not, though. And I
Yeah.
don't want you to give up just because you don't. So, yeah.
Yeah. You should have non-negotiables in your life, and that should be your first choice, your first priority.
Yep. Yeah. Totally.
Your mind, your fitness, and your relationship in mind. Those
Yeah.
are non-negotiable choices that you are making better choices in.
Yeah. Prioritize the things that matter the most.
Mm-hmm.
Like, your body, without it, sorry, you're not even watching this. And every one of us aspire to have a relationship.
Yeah.
Married. Like that,
Yeah.
that's it. Even if it's just platonic, like none of us want to be Emerson, reading and writing in a cabin all by themselves all the time. Like, it's
Yeah.
just not a thing.
No.
So, yeah, even for him. So take that route.
That was a choice he made.
Yeah. Yeah. So is that good? We want to put a bow on it. What's up?
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Guys, we'll be back next Wednesday at noon Central. It'll be Ryan's turn. I don't know. We didn't really discuss topics. So,
I have not had a topic yet. I will get that to you later this week.
yeah, we will drop some knowledge on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Go from there.
Yeah.
Until then, you guys have yourselves a super awesome week. Yeah, thank you as well, Jenny. Pleasure having you on the show. All of you have a good one.